Okay, we're going to start the meeting. Pursuant to the New Jersey Open Public Meeting Act, NJSA 10-410, adequate notice of this meeting has been provided by advertising such notice in the Home News Tribune, the Asbury Park Press, the Board Office, the schools, and on Cablevision, Channel 118, and Verizon Files 24, and by filing such notice with the Township Clerk. This meeting was scheduled for Tuesday, September 24, 2024. The Board will take formal action on payment of bills and other agenda items. Mr. Wydell?
The Old Bridge Township Board of Education acknowledges that the law of this state establishes that members of the public, including members of the board, have the right to record public board meetings using audio or video recording devices, provided that the act of recording does not interfere with the business of this public board meeting. Therefore, the board makes it known that any such recording is to be considered the private recording of the individual and in no manner represents the official record of this board. The board therefore takes no responsibility for such private recording and completely disavows any future use.
Thank you, Mr. Wydell. Roll call, please.
D'Antuno.
Here.
Giordano.
Here.
Jodry.
Here.
Francisco.
Here.
Lent.
Present.
Marquetta.
Here.
Mazzone.
Here.
Slade.
Here.
Solikowski.
Here.
We have a quorum.
Thank you. Would everybody please rise for the pledge? Would everybody please remain standing? Move the Board of Education to acknowledge the death of Nancy Wagner, retired teacher, Lynn Romano Andrews, retired teacher, Robert Swain, Jr., 2013 Old Bridge High School graduate, and Anthony DePalma, 2003 high school graduate. Thank you. Code of Ethics Corner.
The board member refer all complaints to the chief administrative officer and act on the complaints at public meetings only after failure of an administrative solution.
Thank you. Approval of minutes.
Giordano will make the motion.
I need a second. Okay, second.
D'Antuno will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
D'Antuno.
Yes.
Giordano.
Yes.
Jodry.
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Lent.
Yes.
Marquetta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes,
Resolution 1 for approval of minutes passes.
thank you. We have our stupid representative today. It's all yours.
Mr. President, I just want to take the liberty of introducing Joseph Lanzafama. He is our new president, and he's very strong for being here today. He had the peer retreat this past couple of days, so I have no doubt that he's going to show us how we can persevere through long nights of learning and be here too today. So thank you, Joseph.
Hi, it's very nice to meet you all. My name is Joe Lanzafama, and I am the president of the Student Senate for the school year. I'm very excited to be working with the Board of Education and Central Administration for this upcoming school year. I have attended McDivitt Elementary School, Carl Sandburg Middle School, and I'm now a senior at Old Bridge High School for this school year. I've lived in Old Bridge my whole life, and I'm very proud of our schools and community for all that we do and give back. Each month, I will relay what has happened and what is coming at Old Bridge High School at the Board of Education meetings. It's been a great start to the school year, and many students have begun to get involved in the school's events. This time of the year, we are encouraging all students at Old Bridge High School to join one of our programs so that all students can feel included and involved. This past weekend, senior peer leaders went on the peer retreat and worked hard on team building activities. We have an exciting week coming up with freshman-sophomore bingo on Wednesday night, homecoming dance on Thursday night, and the homecoming football game on Friday night, which is the Battle of Route 18 against East Brunswick. Next week, the senior dinner cruise. We have the senior dinner cruise as well. We also have college admission representatives starting to visit our school throughout the fall. Additionally, fall sports senior nights have already begun. Finally, we have a very successful holiday night and toy drive in conjunction with the Mercer Tafara Foundation to collect toys and donations to donate to the pediatric division of the JFK University Medical Center. Thank you for everyone that donated and attended. It was a great event for a great cause, and we were able to fill the truck with toys. We are looking forward to a fun and eventful year, and our goal is to get as many students involved as we can. It's going to be a great year to be a Knight. Thank you.
Thank you, Joseph. Fantastic job. Great. Okay, recognition. We have 3 retirees. Ms. Francisco?
We do. So we would like to honor the following staff here in the district and express our deep appreciation for their years of dedicated service to our district. Carrie Lee Johnson, Catherine Manise, and Aliza Marks, with a combined total of 70 years of service to our district. We want to wish you the best of luck in your journeys ahead, and congratulations on your retirements.
Thank you. Okay, a roll call, please.
Motion?
I need a motion to move
Ms. Owen
recognition.
motion.
I need a second.
Francisco will second.
And I have some discussion.
Yes.
Yes. I'd like to personally thank Ms. Johnson for her years on the board. I've been in the board since 2020, and you've been a great help. And I've learned a lot with you, Mr. Mara, and now Mr. Wydell. So thank you again, and good luck on your retirement.
Thank you.
I tried joking with Ms. Johnson last week, asking, like, can we vote no on this, because she has been such an asset. So again, to echo, thank you for everything.
On the recognition. No, that's it.
Yes, I would. I'll jump in since we're doing this. So yes, Ms. Johnson, thank you for your guidance and your help through the last year or so. I would also just like to say a couple words. I've been a parent at Shara for a long time, so my girls have looked to Mrs. Marks as their nurse for the last however many years, and she has been wonderful, especially with a child with a food allergy. So I know that a lot of parents will be really sad to see her go. So I just want to wish her the best of luck from me. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Francisco. Roll call, please.
Slade.
Yes.
Dantuno.
Yes.
Giordano.
Yes.
Jodry.
Yes.
Yes.
Francisco. Lent.
Yes.
Marqueta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes.
Resolution 1 for recognition passes. Congratulations.
Thank you. Do we have a superintendent's report?
Yes, we do, Mr. President.
Go ahead.
First, I would like to take the time to recognize a board member, a staff member who did pass away in the last 24 hours unexpectedly. Susan Armente, she was a bus aide in the district. We're sad for her loss, and her husband is a security guard at Sember School, Will Armente. So we'll have that for recognition and remembrance on the next agenda, but it did happen, like I said, in the last 24 hours. So all our prayers and support go out to the family at this time. Just in progress towards goals, and then I'll go to the superintendent's report. We've seen some amazing upticks in some of the progress report towards supporting our students, both with many aspects and our staff, and kind of cultural and environmental and mental health supports. One of the things we looked at is chronic absenteeism. It's a big marker indicator on the success of a school district by the Department of Education. And post 2022, we were looking at 16.4% of our students were chronically absent, meaning that they exceeded at least 10% of the school year as absent. In June of 2024, after we put these measures in place to support the students, we saw a 6.8% reduction in that short period of time. And that's in large part to our attendance coordinators. During the 2023-24 school year, we specialized a committee to work and implement best practices for school avoidance. The committee produced resource guides to provide for all school-based mental health professionals by February 2024, and those guides consist of type of avoidances and causes, assessment for the process, interventions for counselors, teacher resources and classroom supports, and parent strategies and resources. Additionally, in surveying our staff, we saw there was an increase of students in grades 5 through 8 with number of HIBs that were being reported. We used and implemented the Second Step program, and we made it available to all staff in grades 5 through 8, and this supports students with managing their emotions, working with others, maintaining friendships, and problem solving. Studies have shown that the use of the Second Step program reduces incidences of bullying. Lessons are quick and easily can be implemented. At Old Bridge High School and Carl Sandburg School, they're starting their second year with the Rutgers grant-funded program, and they're one of two of only 50 schools in the state that were selected to implement these mental health supports for our students. Old Bridge High School is implementing a full PBIS program, which will be used as an exemplar for other schools that are participating in the grant program. So other school districts that are looking into this program will be coming to Old Bridge High School to model their program after ours. We also saw that our climate survey pilot, which began in 23-24 collaboration with our DEI committee, the 24-25 school year, we have full implementation of the district climate surveys for all staff, students, and personnel. And it'll be administered in the fall and in the spring. The data will be used to guide our best practices for our SCIP teams. Additionally, we have the Teacher Climate and Culture Innovation Grant, which the board is aware of. Teams in pilot schools such as Salk, Sandburg, Miller, and Madison Park started working towards these goals. And I believe we're one of 18 school districts in the state of New Jersey that were selected for this. And the major concept behind this is to work on the climate and culture for our staff to best support them and the work that they do with our students. Now, to the superintendent's report, and this was also related to our strategic plan, was that we were looking for better ways to communicate and have outreach to our families. And in our family, we changed over to, from Parent University being a one-night event to Family Academy nights. At this point, we have 5 events already, 6 events already planned and possibly a 7th. So just so you know about these events that are coming up, they're on our website. And September 30th, 2024, which is next Monday night from 7 to 8 p.m. in the Ellen McDermott Grade 9 Center, I myself will be presenting to families what is an HIB and how does that differ from a code of conduct violation. We get information and requests from parents to investigate code of conduct violations, and often they believe it's an HIB or bullying. And part of my workshop will be showing parents and helping them understand the nuances and differences between what they grew up in believing as bullying and what the state of New Jersey identifies as bullying since 2013. I think it'll be very helpful for that and see the resources and get the understanding that even though it may not be an HIB, something is being done, whether restorative, whether remedial, to correct the code of conduct violation, even though if it's not an HIB. So I think a lot of people will find it educational, and we'll have some fun with it, and some prizes we'll always be giving out if I'm presenting. Then on October 22nd, we're going to How I Can Support My Child in Mathematics at Home. That's going to be at McDivitt School from 6 to 7 p.m. It'll be presented by Stacy Winters, who is our supervisor of mathematics. On Tuesday, November 12th, 2024, from 7 to 8 p.m., we're going to have a special education process and parents' rights in special education. This will be at the Ellen McDermott Grade 9 Center Learning Lab from 7 to 8 p.m. College Planning Night will be on November 20th. This is a virtual workshop, and we're doing this because we heard from many people who attended the the College Planning Night in the past, and they said there's so many of us that need this, but we may have to work that night where you couldn't get childcare for our younger children. So we're making this a virtual workshop to reach all of our parents and families that are in need for this. On March 12th, 2025, from 6 to 7 p.m., we'll have STEAM Night. We're looking to have people join us for an evening of discovery and fun as the families explore various science, technology, engineering, art, and math stations. That'll, again, be at Miller School, 6 to 7 p.m. on March 12th. And then again, another virtual workshop will be through our instructional coaches, Preventing Summer Slide. This will take place on Thursday, May 8th, 2025. I look forward to having everyone attend that one from 7 to 8 p.m., again, as a virtual workshop. That is some very good news, and I think, Dr. Hoker, are you going to report on this at all, or just we'll have it inside, just as an insert for everyone to review on?
I can provide a full summary.
Yes, and try to point out the area in which the AP exams, how we've seen such an increase in that area.
We created the Old Bridge Township Public Schools brochure, which you can see we put some copies at the back tables, and there's also a QR code, and it will be going on the district website. Included are just some of the highlights of the achievements that have taken place over the past, we've looked at approximately the past 10 years, but one of the things we'd like to highlight is the overall academic achievement. And from 2013 to 2024, the SAT scores have seen a 9.8% increase. The total students taking AP courses has seen from, 2013 to 2024, a 27% increase. And then the total AP tests taken, because some students will take more than one test, has increased by 22%. Students, and this is a big one, the AP score with a 3 or higher has increased 25%. So not only do we have more students taking those exams, but we have more students that are achieving higher scores on those exams. We also include in here a summary of our students that are in the early college and the dual enrollment program, some of the positive results that we've seen, some of the recognition, the National Blue Ribbon Schools, the Schools of Character, distinguished PTAs, athletic and musical accomplishments, our global connection that our students are making through our world language program, and we've included some of our highlights for professional development, some of the quotes that have come from staff members, some of the options that we provide to our staff, specifically addressing some of our new hires and how we get them ready to walk into our classrooms, as well as our veteran teachers. And we've included an area based on how we determine the selections for professional development, the selections for curriculum, and how all of our programs and resources are data-driven. There's a page on the measures of school climate, again, really addressing the data-driven approach that we take. We've included some personnel components and how we utilize new or revised positions that we have in the district, such as mental health coordinators, our BCBAs, our instructional coaches, tech integration specialists, and then we address our technology and how we implement the one-to-one and how we continue to evolve with all of the changes in technology. So it's a
Thank you, Dr. Hoker.
action-packed document.
And I want to thank all of our educators from pre-K up to high school, because results like that with the AP, and I pointed this out earlier today, if you understand how AP testing works, and if you've had, let's say, 140 more students taking AP exams, traditionally when you increase the volume of people taking the test, your students that score above 3 will go down because you're expanding the pool of those taking. So it's not those students who traditionally thought they were elite enough to take this test. Now you're expanded more students taking that, and we saw the opposite result, where more students, our score actually increased as more students took the test. So really connects to the scaffolding effect of education, where you start with the elementary schools and work their way to the middle schools, and by the time their students are getting to the high school, they're taking AP tests and they're doing better on them than their predecessors. Really really amazing stuff, and it doesn't happen without great educators from the bottom up. So thank you.
Can I just add, and I know Mr. Giordano probably thinks about this, but the value in being able to take that AP test and utilize it towards your college career, you can get that credit and as families save quite a bit of money. I have a daughter that has taken the AP exams and is able to finish, with the exception of one class, almost a year early. And that's a huge savings if you're able to do that, and we can have more and more of our students taking those classes.
Thank you, Dr. Hoker. Mr. Cittadino. Correspondence, any correspondence?
Yes. Hopefully I didn't miss any, but we do have a number of correspondence here that came in through my email. Okay. First correspondence is from Michael Curtis. Dear Board of Education members, I am writing this email in support of Mr. Citadino being offered a new contract after his current contract expires. As a teacher starting my 23rd year in Old Bridge, I have grown to know Mr. Citadino as not only a boss, but as a friend. I have worked under numerous superintendents in this district, and none of them have gone above and beyond like Mr. Citadino to create a culture that promotes family and friendships. He has always put the students and staff of Old Bridge first, and strives to foster an environment in which his students and staff feel safe and accepted, fostering both academic growth and personal growth. If the Board of Education chooses not to renew Mr. Citadino's contract, they will be doing a disservice to not only the Old Bridge Township Public School District, but also to the township as a whole. Thank you for allowing my voice to be heard. Respectfully yours, Michael Curtis. Second is from, pronunciation, but Michelle Sparza. Good evening. Unfortunately, I am unable to attend tonight's meeting. Could you please share the following correspondence at tonight's meeting? I am writing to express my support for the renewal of Mr. Citadino's contract as superintendent. I have had the privilege of working with Mr. Citadino in various capacities, first as my vice principal, then as principal at Jonas Salk Middle School, and now as superintendent. Throughout his time in Old Bridge, he has consistently demonstrated unwavering support for his staff and, more importantly, the students we serve. I have witnessed Mr. Citadino navigate both the most challenging and the most successful times in Old Bridge. His leadership has been a steady and guiding force through it all. Losing him would be a significant loss for our district. Thank you for your time, Michelle Sparza. Third correspondence from Karen Langen. Subject is Superintendent Contract Renewal. Dear Board of Education members, please read this email as correspondence at the Board of Education regular meeting on 9/24/24. I watched the board meeting last week and was disheartened to hear that Mr. Citadino's contract may not be renewed. I felt the need to send you a letter to let you know that I support Mr. Citadino as the superintendent. I went through the Old Bridge school system, and I can honestly tell you that I never saw or heard about the superintendent while I was in school. Students today cannot say that about our superintendent because Mr. Citadino is everywhere and supports everyone. I have had many nieces and nephews go through the school system, and they all knew Mr. Citadino because of his involvement and support of all students and activities. To be honest, he is like Where's Waldo, except Mr. Citadino is easier to find because he is everywhere and helping everyone. Mr. Citadino has changed the way Old Bridge looks and feels, and it is for the better. The transition started when he became vice principal at Jonas Salk, and it continued to this day. I would like to share a quick story. Last year, when Salk School had to be evacuated due to an emergency across the street, several students were anxious. I turned around, and who did I see? Mr. Citadino with Daisy, his trusted four-legged companion. I asked Mr. Citadino to introduce Daisy to a student who was having a little anxiety, and not only did Mr. Citadino introduce Daisy, he spent some time with the student talking and engaging them in an effort to try to ease their anxiety. I am asking all board members to support the renewal of Mr. Citadino's contract, not just for the students and staff, but for the Old Bridge community. Thank you for your time, and have a good evening. Have a good day, Ms. Karen Langen. Fourth correspondence from Victoria Boree, sorry for the pronunciation, Superintendent Contract Renewal. Dear Old Bridge Board of Education, please read this email as correspondence at the Board of Education regular meeting on 9/24/24. I hope this message finds you well. I wanted to take a moment to express my gratitude for Dave. I first started working with Dave while he was an administrator at Salk. Dave was always in the hallways with a smile on his face, interacting with the students and staff in a lighthearted and engaging manner. He wanted his staff and his students to feel comfortable in the environment in which they were in and have an enjoyable experience. Dave always had an open door policy for everyone, which was very reassuring. His support towards us all does not go unnoticed. As an administrator and superintendent, Dave is familiar with many students and their families. His approach towards all students, staff, and our community has always been caring and compassionate. His involvement in our community has made a positive impact on all. Dave's support consistently reflects his commitment to the best interests of the students, staff, and community. In closing, I would like to express my support for the renewal of David Citadino's contract as Superintendent of Old Bridge Public Schools. Sincerely, Victoria Boer. Correspondence number 5 from Robin Wolf. Dear Board of Education members, I regret that I cannot attend the meeting due to prior commitments on Tuesday nights. However, I want to express my strong support for Superintendent Dave Citadino. Dave is a superintendent who truly values and supports his staff. He takes the time to listen and understand the needs of everyone involved, which is a rare and invaluable quality. His extensive knowledge of what a school district requires to thrive is evident in his leadership. Dave enjoys an amazing reputation among his peers and is highly respected within the educational community. In many conversations with him over the years, I have consistently found him to be an excellent listener, demonstrating a genuine commitment to our district. I firmly believe that the Old Bridge School District would not be as successful without Dave at the helm. Therefore, I strongly urge you to extend his contract so we can continue to build on the successes we have achieved under his leadership. Thank you, Robin Wolf, Sandburg School and Old Bridge alumni. Correspondence number 6 from Christina Romeo. Good evening. I am writing in support of renewing David Cinedino's contract as, always proud, Superintendent of Old Bridge Public Schools. I have worked with Mr. Cinedino at Sauk and Old Bridge High School and was thrilled when he became our superintendent. In addition to the extraordinary duties involved in running a huge school district, he has maintained Old Bridge Public Schools' excellent reputation. Mr. Cinedino has always cared deeply about the staff and students in his buildings as our principal and shows the same level of love and care for the entire district. I'm not sure how he does it, but he attends just about every event during the school day, after school, and on weekends. These include sports, Old Bridge Day, Brady's Walk and Mental Health Wellness Fair, and SEPTA meetings, to name a few. I'm sure he has given up time with his own family to support the happenings in Old Bridge. And then there's Daisy. From calming little ones on the first day of school to turning big, tough high school boys to mush, Daisy is such an asset to the district. Without Mr. Cinedino, there is no Daisy. I don't know why this is even a topic of discussion. You will not find anyone who puts his heart and soul into the Old Bridge Public Schools like Mr. Cinedino does. Renew his contract. Thank you. Christina Romeo, retired Old Bridge speech language pathologist. Correspondence number 7 from Miss Katie Chung. Hi, Business Administrator Wydell and Board of Education. I'm writing to you to express my support for renewing Superintendent Cinedino's contract when it expires next year. With all the uncertainties taking place in schools across the country, my family and I always feel confident that Superintendent Cinedino is keeping our school safe and the parents/community guardians informed. I appreciate Superintendent Cinedino being so active in the community and always showing up at school activities to show his genuine support and love for the students. Superintendent Cinedino is more than well qualified and is well respected by many school staffs, parents, and students. Old Bridge would be so lucky if he stays with us for many years to come. I hope the Board of Ed will listen to the outpouring of support from Mr. Cinedino for Superintendent Cinedino and renew his contract immediately. There is absolutely no need to wait until after the November election to do as per Board President has recommended. That is a selfish decision. The Board President needs to put his personal grudges aside and do the right thing. Thank you, Kate. Correspondence number 8. Subject is Save Dave. Dear Board of Ed, I would like to express my deep gratitude to Mr. Cinedino for the positive impact he has had on our school district. My daughter was fortunate to participate in a full-day pilot program at Grissom under Mr. Cinedino's leadership, which eventually expanded into a successful full-day program for all students. Over the past 11 years, my daughter has excelled academically, becoming a high honor student involved in various activities, including the National Honor Society, French, and orchestra, all while taking honors and AP courses. Her success is a testament to the hard work of the teachers and the guidance of Mr. Cinedino. I wholeheartedly believe that his contract should be renewed to continue fostering this kind of academic achievement. Many families, including mine, have chosen Old Bridge because of the strength of our school system, and even in the face of challenges like COVID-19, we have seen success. My daughter was in the 6th grade when the pandemic hit and did not return to in-person learning until late in 7th grade. Despite these challenges, she has thrived, as I mentioned above, proving there is recovery. With only 2 years left in her high school journey, I hope that other parents' children will have the same opportunities and success she has had, thanks to the leadership and vision of Mr. Cinedino. The Board of Education exists to serve the community and our children, not personal interests. Unfortunately, it seems that some members are allowing selfish motives to interfere with decisions that directly affect the success of our students. I'm not dancing around it. Board members, Christina, Elena, and Matt, you are delaying a process that is crucial to the future of our children. It's time to put aside personal grievances and focus on what truly matters, protecting our in supporting our students. President Solikowski, I urge you to set aside any personal grudges and do what is right. Keeping Dave Citadino as superintendent is not only in the best interest of our children, but also reflects his proven track record, named the NJPTA Outstanding Superintendent for the 23-24 school year. This should be an easy decision. Our students' success depends on it. Thank you, Dave, for everything, and hope you are here when my daughter graduates next year. With love, the keyboard warrior, Miss Stephanie Mahmoud, aka Stephanie Field. Correspondence number 9 from a Miss Roxana Acosta. Hello, Mr. Wydell and Board of Education members. I am writing to express my strong support for the renewal of Mr. Citadino's contract. Old Bridge has been fortunate to have such a dedicated and effective leader, and I believe it is in the best interest of our community to begin the process of renewing his contract now. In my 6 years living in Old Bridge, I have seen how the children and community have benefited under his leadership, and his commitment to transparency and accountability have fostered a sense of trust and confidence among parents and residents. Losing a superintendent of his caliber would be a major setback for Old Bridge and the children. I urge you to take swift action to renew his contract, ensuring that our town continues to benefit from his leadership and expertise. Sincerely, a concerned parent, Roxana Acosta. Correspondence number 10 from Krista Fisher. Good afternoon, Mr. Wydell and Board of Education members. I am writing today as both a parent and a passionate advocate for the continued success of our school district. David Citadino's dedication to our students is unmatched. He is not just a superintendent behind the desk. He is a visible, engaged presence in our community. Whether it's attending school events, supporting teachers, or going the extra mile for our children, he consistently shows up. One experience that stands out to me personally is when he brought his therapy dog, Daisy, into my son's classroom during his first week of kindergarten. That simple, compassionate gesture helped ease the transition for my son, and I'm sure many other students, new students. Many residents are aware that there may have been personal reasons for one long-standing board member of our Board of Education to diminish Superintendent Citadino's contract. However, I urge the entire board to consider the broader impact of the decision on our students, teachers, and community. Personal disagreement should not overshadow the remarkable dedication and commitment Dave has consistently shown to our district. If any Board of Education member is truly for the kids and wants to protect parental rights, then please don't punish the children in our community over the past, your ego, or a vendetta. It only hurts our children. I'd also like to go on record for the candidates who are working hand in hand with our township GOP in that a current councilwoman had stated to a young man at Old Bridge Day that you were all responsible for raising our taxes, and for no reason, she emphasized. You were all thrown under the bus. Please don't fall as pawns for political reasons and motivations. Please look inside yourselves and do the right thing. Religion and politics is no place for our schools. I believe any decision not to renew his contract would be a disservice to our students and our community, and it is simply a decision that would be made out of ego. David Citadino belongs in this district. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Krista Fisher. That was the final one.
Thank you, Mr. Wydell. Any special committee reports?
Yes.
Go ahead.
At the request of families at the last month's agenda meeting, we had a transportation meeting concerning the late buses. We addressed the fact that the late bus is a $500,000 line item in our budget, and we went through the reasons why the administration and the board unfortunately had to cut it for right now, and we wouldn't make the money back with subscription busing or pay to play. It wouldn't cover the cost of the busing. There were some suggestions that the administration is looking into, but I want to thank the administration and the board and the staff that was able to get the meeting together so quickly. We got it done under a month, and it's because you as families and parents requested it, so thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes, me. Last Thursday, September 19th, SEPTA had their first meeting of the year. A lot of people showed up, and I just wanted to give you a little summary of what was talked about. They now have a representative at each of the 16 school buildings where they advocate with principals and PTAs to ensure the success of special education programs, students, and staff. The board spoke about their SEPTA booklets project, and by the way, our board got those last week. and new informational postcards. They distributed over 375 booklets throughout Old Bridge. SEPTA reviewed many of the wish lists they granted over the summer to their incredible staff and classrooms. They updated everyone on the completed GNC project. If you haven't seen that, it's amazing. After a grant opportunity fell through, they turned to the community to help raise funds to bring this project to fruition. They were able to raise over $12,000 to complete the beautiful classroom that will benefit students for years to come. Their new campaign is called Exceptional Nights. It's a new inclusive t-shirt and hoodie design with the word nights in both sign language and Braille. The Exceptional Nights campaign ends September 30th, so if you want to order, you have to do it soon. SEPTA announced their partnership with the Department of Special Services to host the very first Old Bridge Special Education Resource Fair. That's going to be held on Thursday, January 30th between 6 and 8 at the Carl Sandburg Learning Lab. At the meeting on Thursday, Dr. Tui presented an overview of special education programs for 2024-2025. SEPTA will also participate in the November 12th Family Academy Night, where Dr. Tui will be presenting. You do a lot of presenting, Dr. Tui, on the process of parent rights and special education. SEPTA will be providing for refreshments and a table with resources. And lastly, SEPTA's Nothing Bun Cake Sale is back this year just in time for Thanksgiving. The fundraiser will start in mid-October, and you can pick up the bun cakes on the Tuesday before Thanksgiving. Thank you.
Thank you. Hearing of residents on any agenda items. Any agenda items?
It should be up there, is it not?
I'm sorry?
Is there a book there to sign it?
No, no book. Oh, in the podium? No. No. Sure.
You can start now, you can write in after.
Hey,
Thank
Matt,
you.
did you say any school item or any agenda item? Okay, all right, okay, just wanted to check, thank you.
I can go? Okay, on the agenda, later on, it states about a donation that's given to Grissom School. So I'd like to express my gratitude to both Lord Abbott and System Liquidators for their generous donation of office furniture and the remarkable check of $5,000. However, this contribution represents such more than its monetary value. At the start of the school year, Dr. Hoker announced our ambitious goal of recertifying as a national district of character. This task is especially challenging in today's society, where divisions are often seen more pronounced now than ever. We find ourselves polarized, whether politically, generationally, or even with our sports loyalties. Respecting different opinions has become increasingly difficult. To me, being a national district of character goes beyond banners, catchphrases, and signature slogans. With that in mind, Dr. Hoker, I would like to include the following as part of our district's recertification application. While I promise not to mention this person's name publicly, it feels essential to recognize the invaluable character lesson demonstrated by Mrs. Tara Finkelstein, a former Grissom parent and a manager at Lord Abbott, who has been a vital link between Lord Abbott, System Liquidators, and Grissom School. It's safe to say, over the past 11 years, Tara and I have definitely had our shares of differences. However, she has set those differences aside for the greater good, not just for her son's school, but for all the children in our community, as her sons have since moved on to Salk and the high school. Tara embodies the spirit of community, serving not just as a donor, but as a believer in our shared mission. As I stand here representing Grissom School, it's Tara's selfless commitment to putting aside disagreements and different beliefs that has exemplified what good character truly means. Her actions teach our children that living our values is far more significant than merely achieving recertification. Thank you, Tara, for this invaluable lesson. I also want to highlight that there are countless other unsung heroes in our community, students, parents, teachers, and support staff who exemplify character every day. With continued examples from individuals like Tara, we can aspire to become a true community of character. Again, thank you very much, Tara Finkelstein. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Enrico. Anyone else?
If we could just have you sign in, so officially in the book, thank you.
Yes, and state your name, please.
Can you guys hear me? Okay. Good evening, everyone. My name is Amy Callista. I live in Matawan, Old Bridge Township. Today I'm here as a parent and as a concerned member of this community. There's been, a lot of discussion about Superintendent.
Is this in regards to a specific item on the agenda?
Superintendent David Cittadino and his future in the district?
Yeah, but that, you can speak later on that one, not now.
It's just for items
This is
that are for
items that
action
are on the
tonight.
agenda.
This is not the time to do that. Okay.
Yeah. We will let you know.
I'll be back.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Hello everyone, good evening. This is Kiran Venkatesan. Just a quick question on the item number 12 on the curriculum guides. I see we have updates for pretty much from grade K all the way up to middle school and special services, secondary, etc. I did look up the data that was published today, like the agenda and then the schedules and attachments, but honestly I couldn't find more details about what is changing, in some of these or all of this. So before we go to the voting process, if any of you can please give some perspective of what is changing, that will be of help. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Just items that are on the agenda. I see no hands. Okay, thank you.
Does everyone hear me? Okay. Hello, everybody. Nice to meet you. I'm Juliana Magliocco. I'm a student from Brookdale Community College up in Lincroft campus. I'm here today. I'm in an honors political science class, and I'm here today observing you all. I'm studying to become a secondary math education teacher, so I'm super excited to be here. I had some questions concerning the school district. Even though I am from Matawan, I was really looking forward to maybe applying to the Old Bridge High School.
Is this in regards to a specific item on the agenda, the board agenda for tonight?
No, I had some personal questions. I'm
All
not
right, so
sure.
there's going to be a second hearing of the residents where you can talk about
Okay.
any issue. You can hold your comments until then. We'll announce that when you could.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Okay, that's all right.
Yeah, I've never been to this district. Sorry.
It was a good
That's
warm-up,
all right.
though. It was a good warm-up,
We-
good
we
practice. good-
understand.
Nice
That's okay. So
run through. Now you'll be ready next time.
there'll be a second hearing
We
of
like
the
both of your
residents.
enthusiasm.
Yes.
Okay, policy, we have no policy. Curriculum, professional development, 1 through,
Do you want to have Dr. Tui address, like, the very broad question by Mr. V?
So the state of New Jersey has updated its student learning standards. Those student learning standards specifically for ELA and math necessitate a rewrite for our ELA and math materials. Additional courses that were rewritten over the course of the summer included some special education programs, a visual and performing art new class at the high school, which was music production 2, and a new class we were offering at the GNC, which is a half-year computer science course.
And just for clarification, that item is in the curriculum section highlighted because based on action proposed by Board Member Slade, which was then seconded by Jodry and D'Antuno, we then put it back on the curriculum meeting for voting for tonight's purpose. So that was put on the agenda, highlighted based on action at our last agenda session to get it back on for voting purposes today. So, thank you.
would somebody try to answer Karen's question about the curriculum? Doc- Okay. Okay. Okay, so it was answered, good. Okay, I need a motion to move
D'Antuno will move.
curriculum, 1 through 12. I need a second.
Joe Drill, second.
Any discussion?
Yes, I have a discussion. So last week, I don't know if it was last week, but the last time this came up for vote, I voted no to new curriculum guides, and I just wanted to explain why I did that. My reasoning was merely for wanting to make sure I did my job. I cannot have voted yes to something I did not fully read or understand. I need more time to be able to do my homework. I brought up the points of how every single grade there was a curriculum requirement and that things were being umbrellaed under different, under the same, things were being combined under the same umbrella. I needed some answers as to why the state requirement was necessary in every single grade and in every single subject. I wanted to know why, how this was beneficial to all students and how it would be taught. As I understand it now, it is required by the state, and if not listed in our curriculum, the state will then remove some CUSAC points from the district, as they did when the health curriculum was voted down. The state taking points away would then leave our district under needs improvement category. Am I correct with that? Okay. My concern is, as much as I know our teachers here in the district are doing an amazing job, how are they going to be implementing these new requirements into the classrooms, and what materials are going to be used? The world is changing drastically, and what scares me that is if the fact of leaving these requirements in the curriculum leaves that little door open for teachers to be able to teach unnecessary materials to the students and it to be totally okay with no parental guidance. At some point, we as a district, and not just us, all districts, need to push back at the state and tell them no. Why do we have local school boards if at the end of the day we really don't have any say over our district? The state has the final say, so why have a local board of ed, and why have our teachers take time away from their lives and their families to rewrite curriculum if the state can just come in and redo it all? I felt I had to explain myself because it seems that everything we do, every way I tend to vote, people have comments or sounds to make, when all I'm trying to do is do the job I was elected to do. I just wanted to thank all of the teachers who took the time out this summer to rewrite the curriculum. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes. So over the last couple weeks, I took the time that I felt was necessary to go through the many areas of curriculum that did have some revisions. And yesterday, I had the opportunity to sit down with Dr. Tui, with Dr. Hoker, and also Ms. Adenolfi and Mr. Celentano. And I walked into the room, and it was evident to me that they were super prepared to sit down with me, welcomed me in, gave me all of the necessary documents that I would need, to look at, had some things ready to present to me. And it was evident that they were respecting the fact that I had questions and that I genuinely wanted to learn as much as I can. So I thank the four of you for sitting with me, having a very candid conversation that was very promising. So just so that I am being clear on some of the things that I did ask, and I was able to ask about the state mandates that were revised and that are present cross-curricularly for us. I asked about how the ELA units are established. I asked about the components of Wonders, about the listed resources, how we monitor what resources our teachers are using, I asked about suggested novels. I asked how we ensure teachers are providing various perspectives when teaching topics. I asked where digital platforms come into play and what those are. I also brought up science and social studies materials that we seem to be a little lacking in certain grade levels. So please know, I'm doing all I can to learn and to take it all in, to get to know our administrators. I have a lot of respect for what they do and for the teachers and supervisors that rewrote this curriculum or looked over the rewritten curriculum over the summer. Honestly, my bigger concerns, and I hate to say this because it's true, they're an issue. It's bigger than us. I do not fault our administrators, our supervisors, our teachers that are putting their time in because they're doing their jobs. They're following what the state is saying. But the state says something, and is it our job to just nod and say yes? To me, it isn't. To me, it's much more than that. And I promise to be a voice for everybody, and I'm going to continue to do that. So that's it. I just wanted to be transparent in that I am doing my best to speak with everybody I can and to learn as much as I can.
Thank you, Ms. Francisco. Anyone else?
Yes. I too also reached out to supervisors who were responsible for rewriting the curriculum, and they just reassured me what I said last week, just the Reader's Digest version of what the changes are in the curriculum. So I want to thank the supervisors for their help and just clarifying my interpretation of what the changes were. So thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? Roll call, please.
Marqueta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Dantuno.
Yes.
Giordano.
Yes.
Jodry.
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Lent.
Yes.
Solakowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 12 for curriculum and professional development passes.
Thank you, Mr. Waddell. Finance, 1 through 11.
Giordano make the motion.
I need a motion to move finance.
Yep. Giordano.
Mr., somebody's up too high here.
Giordano got it.
Yeah, sorry, I said I was going to motion.
I got
Francisco
you.
will second.
Thank you.
Any discussion?
Yes. I would just like to say good luck to the teachers for the next 5 years under their new contracts.
And I want to thank the negotiating team for working with them. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Lent.
Yes.
Marqueta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Dantuno.
Yes.
Giordano.
Yes.
Jodry.
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Solakowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 11 for finance passes.
Thank you, Mr. Waddell. Athletics.
Can we just pause and have a little round of applause? That's, you just,
Athletics, number 1. Can I get a motion to move athletics?
Dantuno will move.
I need a second,
Ms. Owen
please.
will second.
Second. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Francisco.
Yes.
Lent.
Yes.
Marqueta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Dantuno.
Yes.
Giordano.
Yes.
Jodry.
Yes.
Solakowski.
Yes.
Resolution 1 for athletics passes.
Thank you, Mr. Waddell. Non-certified personnel office, 1 and 2. Can I get a motion to move non-certified personnel office?
Ms. Owen will motion.
Francisco will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Jodry.
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Lent.
Yes.
Marqueta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Dantuno.
Yes.
Giordano.
Yes.
Solakowski.
Yes,
Resolutions 1 and 2 for non-certificated personnel office passes.
thank you. Non-certified personnel operational, number 1. Can I get a motion to move non-certified personnel operational?
Ms. Owen motion.
Can I get a second?
Marqueta will second.
Okay. Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Giordano.
Yes.
Jodry.
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Lent.
Yes.
Marqueta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Dantuno.
Yes.
Solakowski.
Yes,
Resolution 1 for non-certificated personnel operational passes.
thank you, Mr. Waddell. Non-certified personnel, other 1 through 12.
Giordano motion.
Can I get a second, please?
Marqueta second.
Can I get any discussion, please? No? Roll call, please.
I actually have a question. Mr. Parton,
Go ahead.
do I have to excuse myself from 12 and a couple of the other noon hour issues?
If the name includes anybody to whom.
Okay,
have
so
a
can you
conflict.
separate 12 then?
Separate.
You can just note that when your name
You
is
could
called upon.
All right, so I had a motion by Giordano, seconded by Marqueta. Good for roll call?
Roll
Dan-
call, please.
Dantuno.
Yes.
Giordano.
Yes.
Jodry.
Yes.
Francisco.
Yes.
Lent.
Yes to everything but 12, abstain on 12.
Okay, thank you. Marqueta.
Yes.
Mazzone.
Yes.
Slade.
Yes.
Solakowski.
Yes,
Resolutions 1 through 12 for non-certificated personnel, other passes.
thank you. Okay, certified personnel, 1 through 21. Can I get a motion to move certified personnel, please?
Ms. Owen motion.
Can I get a second?
Francisco will second.
I believe we have a separation here.
We do. We have number 1, no. Number 2.
Separated by Ms. Zone
Yep.
for
Discussion.
discussion?
Yep.
Yes, okay, but first we'll vote on the entire batch. Okay, so we're voting on 1, 3 through 21.
So it's for voting too?
And number 2 is discussion.
Yeah, she just wants to discuss it before we vote.
We have to vote on it first. Okay.
Floor is yours, Christina.
Thanks. So I would like to welcome our newest addition to our amazing staff of teachers, Miss Caitlin Hunt. Miss Hunt, if you're here, please stand up. No? Okay. We know you will do some amazing things here in the district. Please do not hesitate to reach out to any of us. Well, you can't come to the stage for a picture, but. Also, I would like to congratulate Mr. William Reed and, okay, what is it? Tian Zhao Yan D'Amato on also your newest positions. Are you, any of they here? Okay, maybe next meeting. But again, congratulations. You guys are going to do amazing things. And please, again, don't hesitate to reach out to any of us if you guys have anything, concerns or questions. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Mazzone. Okay, a roll call, please.
All right, on 1 through 21, Slade,
Yes.
Dantuno,
Yes.
Giordano,
Yes.
Jodry,
Yes.
Francisco,
Yes.
Lent,
Yes.
Marqueta,
Yes.
Mazzone,
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 21 for certificated personnel passes.
Thank you, Mr. Wydell. Thank you, Ms. Mazzone. Non-certified personnel, transportation, number 1. Can I get a motion to move non-certified personnel transportation?
Santino will move.
Lentil second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Mazzone,
Yes.
Slade,
Yes.
Dantuno,
Yes.
Giordano,
Yes.
Jodry,
Yes.
Francisco,
Yes.
Lent,
Yes.
Marqueta,
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes.
Resolution 1 for non-certificated personnel transportation passes.
Thank you, Mr. Wydell. Transportation, 1 through 1, 2, and 3. Can I get a motion to move transportation, 1, 2, and 3?
Ms. Owen, motion?
Can I get a second?
Jodrell, second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Marqueta,
Yes.
Mazzone,
Yes.
Slade,
Yes.
Dantuno,
Yes.
Giordano,
Yes.
Jodry,
Yes.
Francisco,
Yes.
Lent,
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes.
Resolutions 1 through 3 for transportation passes.
Thank you. Supplies, equipment, and services, 1. Can I get a motion to move supplies, equipment, and services?
Lent will move it.
Ms. Owen will second.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Lent,
Yes.
Marqueta,
Yes.
Mazzone,
Yes.
Slade,
Yes.
Dantuno,
Yes.
Giordano,
Yes.
Jodry,
Yes.
Francisco,
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes.
Resolution 1 for supplies, equipment, and services passes.
Thank you. Miscellaneous, 1 through 4.
Ms. Owen, motion?
Can I get a second, please?
Marqueta seconds.
Any discussion? Roll call, please.
Francisco,
Yes.
Lent,
Yes.
Marqueta,
Yes.
Mazzone,
Yes.
Slade,
Yes.
Dantuno,
Yes.
Giordano,
Yes.
Jodry,
Yes.
Solikowski.
Yes, thank you.
Resolutions 1 through 4 for miscellaneous passes.
Roman numeral number 27, Board Secretary and Board Business.
No business, but Dr. Hooker has something to add.
One of our new staff members is here.
Oh, where? Oh, would you please come forward? Would you please come on the stage for a picture? Where's the photographer? Oh, here he comes. Wait, she announced you. Just stand that way. There you go. Congratulations. I guess we have a full house here. A lot of people want to talk. Okay, hearing of residents on any school district item.
All right, now anyone can go up.
Now we
please.
can stand in line and you can speak.
Former
Thank you.
lines, sign our book, pass it back. Thank you, Mr. Lewis.
Formal line, please.
Andrew Lewis, OBEA. Just want to take a minute and thank the board and some people specifically for ratifying our contract for the next 5 years, especially given the budget situation in the district. It's greatly appreciated. I want to thank the members of the team, Mr. Slade, Giordano, Ms. Francisco, and Mrs. Mazzone. I want to thank Mr. Wydell as the new business administrator who walked in right as we're starting for your cooperation. Mr. Parton, I believe when we settled, you said that you've been doing this for 12 years. This is the first time that we haven't had a mediator come in those 12 years, so I think that's great, and speaks to the relationship that the board and the association administration have formed over the past 5 years. Specifically, Mr. Cittadino and Dr. Hoker, I want to thank you for your collaboration and relationship over the last couple of years. The night that we did settle, there was a board meeting, we paused, and we weren't going to come back, and I believe from what I understand, the two of you urged the board to return to the table, and that's the night that we settled, so thank you both for your leadership in that. Thank you to everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, everyone, again. Okay, so I'd like to ask the board a few questions. I have 6 questions here to ask you.
Would you please state your name?
My name is Juliana Magliocco. I am
Okay.
from Brookdale Community College.
Thank you.
So one of the first questions that I have as a concerned student studying to be a secondary math education teacher is that I've noticed as a student, I'm not sure if your children have complained, if you ask your children when you come home from school, how is school today, and a substitute teacher was in the classroom and does not teach, and I was very concerned about that. What are the subs qualifications? And I noticed that high schools and especially middle schools do not have substitute teachers that are qualified to teach the certain subject that they are substituting for. And I just wanted to know what their qualifications were for that. Why aren't they teaching?
Dr. Hoker?
Will everyone speak, and then we'll answer questions at the end?
Do you have more? If you have more questions, keep going.
Oh, okay.
You have 5 minutes.
Second question is, would you say that there was an increase or decrease in standardized testing scores before or after COVID-19? Number 3, are there more students in a class before or after COVID-19 pandemic? Number 4, dealing with budgeting issues, how are you managing class sizes to the teacher ratio? And number 5, do you have police officers in all of your schools? And if not, why not? Number 6, based on gun violence happening throughout the country in school districts and state, what has your school done or your district done to address student safety? And number 7, finally, as something that, as a practicing teacher, do your district or specifically the high school have any teacher practice for just in case of a school shooting, especially for those special education teachers? You're dealing with students with wheelchairs, mobilized wheelchairs, some students that are nonverbal or deaf, or even just regular students, getting all of that teacher-student ratio out of the building or safe quickly as possible. Thank you.
Thank you. You want to wait till the very end after everybody speaks? Yeah, okay, we'll do that. Okay, next.
Here I am, again. Thank you, Matt, for clearly, keeping me straight there, or making me straight, but not literally.
That's good.
Hi,
Okay, it's all yours.
yes, I'm Amy. I live in Matawan, Old Bridge Township, and like I said before, I'm here to discuss David Cittadino's future in this district. I want to take a moment to share a personal story that not only highlights David's commitment to all students, but also his amazing willingness to go above and beyond for families like me. Throughout last year and even more during the summer, my wife and I, we were so concerned about our children's transition into the public school system. My 2 6-year-olds were going from private kindergarten into 1st grade, and they were so nervous. So, we wanted to make them as confident, as comfortable as we could. So we inquired about a school tour to ease their anxiety a little bit. So normally, school tours are reserved for kindergartners. That's, what we were told. But David, he stepped in immediately when he saw my wife at the administrative office, inquiring a little bit more about that. And, David didn't say no or, give me the standard reply. He didn't, push us aside. He made a phone call on the spot to the principal. And, within several days, my kids had a tour, which was pretty awesome. So, even that small act of kindness really made a huge impact on my family. My kids, they were like so much less, scared, and they felt like prepared going into their school year. And it's all because like one person in a leadership role cared to act and to listen. And that's really what this community, what this district needs as far as leadership. I've talked to so many parents, and they all have said that David is an advocate for all students, whether, they're from different backgrounds, whether they have like additional support needs. His leadership is all about elevating, lifting students, and also making sure that families are heard. And what else that makes David so good at his job? He doesn't just lead, but he adapts, he listens, he makes decisions that reflect our whole community. And, I know that there are differing opinions. I would just ask those that are opposing David's reappointment to consider, what do we really need as a superintendent, for a superintendent? Do we want someone that cares and supports all students? Someone that has dedicated his life to ensuring students are seen, that they're safe, that, they're valued? Or do we want to step back to a time when, we allowed politics, bias, to, control the future of our schools? So I firmly believe that David is the best person to continue to lead this district. His passion for education is what makes this community stronger. Thanks, everyone, for listening.
Thank you.
Good evening, Sal DePrima. I'm just going to take a minute and a half of your time in support of Dave. Many of you know me as a former Board of Education member. In fact, I was one of the original group to vote yes to hiring Mr. Cittadino, as our superintendent. Anyway, over the years, there were oftentimes my colleagues and I weren't sure which way to vote on an issue. Usually at these times, the community spoke up and let us know what they wanted. Most of the time, that made our decision very easy, since we were elected to represent the community, as you were. We listened to what they wanted and acted accordingly. My point is, the community has spoken, and you have a responsibility to listen. Please do the right thing for Mr. Cittadino. Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tina Santiago. I graduated from Old Bridge Schools over 14 years ago now, and I wouldn't be here or where I am today if it wasn't for David Cittadino. He helped me get through middle school, high school. He even gave me my high school diploma on stage. He helped my mom because I was not an easy person to get through school at all. Old Bridge would be at a disservice if he was not still superintendent next year. Thank you.
Mary Jane Santiago, her mom.
Mr. Cittadino was my sanity through middle school years. We need to keep him. We need to renew his contract. Old Bridge needs him. I can't say anymore. I can't add more than what you said. We need to keep him. Thank you.
Good evening, Richard Dunn, 58 Norman Lane in this great town of Old Bridge. I got a few items tonight I want to discuss real quick. First, I want to ask the President when Shared Services Committee meeting is going to be scheduled. As we all know, Shared Services is a very integral part of our relationship with the Township of Old Bridge, and it seems that the Old Bridge Public Schools spends over a few $1 million a year on services towards the township, and we don't get much in return. So I would like to know when that committee meeting will be scheduled. So that's number one. Number two, I had the pleasure to attend the SEPTA meeting at John Glenn School on Thursday, even though it was only for a few minutes because I had a previous engagement. I was somewhat upset when I walked into the all-purpose room and found the all-purpose room without air conditioning. I know it was something that we were working on back in '21 when I was on the board, and that's the only elementary school that does not have an all-purpose air conditioning system. So I think we owe it to our children, pre-K, our teachers, and everyone who uses John Glenn School to get them air conditioning, and I hope that the board will consider starting that process now, so when May rolls around, they'll have air conditioning in their all-purpose room. It was very difficult to hear Dr. Tui and all the speakers because the fan's going, and I think it's doing a disservice to our children. I'm not sure why it didn't move forward in '21 when we were discussing it at the Buildings and Grounds and Transportation meeting, but maybe with the transition from Joe Mara to Dave and everything else that was going on, it fell through the cracks. But I would strongly recommend us allocating some of the $10 million that we received to upgrade the facilities there at Glenn School. It would be very helpful for our children and their learning environment. Maybe we can consider utilizing a co-op, or certified state co-op, which will cut off costs dramatically instead of going out to bid. So that's something I'm sure the BA could look into and discuss with the board. They deserve air conditioning at that school. Number three is I would like to know what the annual cost is for the Board of Education to lease the two DPW bays at the township on an annual basis. That's a number which I think we should know. I know the numbers is a revenue for the township and it's an expense for the Board of Ed, but I'd like to know what that annual expense is. And number four, last week I did speak on the behalf of David Cittadino, and I said a few things, and I asked the board to reconsider because David has been an incredible asset to this town, but I missed one point that I really wanted to make that accentuated who he is as a man and someone who cares so much. Many people know that my daughter is a special needs individual. She has Asperger's syndrome, and she has attention deficit disorders and many other issues. And going back when she was in the 8th grade at Jonas Salk School back in 2010, she was very upset that she wasn't able to go on the STARS trip to Washington, D.C. and Baltimore Harbor. And she tried her best to get the credits because it was done in a way where when you gave service back to the school, you would earn enough credits to be considered to go on this specialized trip. And one of Erin's child study team members had whispered in the principal's ear at the time about Erin's desire to go. And Erin very loved to do things, and it was so involved in her that she really wanted to go, and Dave made it happen by giving her extracurricular activities to do, special tasks to make it happen. And quite honestly, that was a very special thing because my daughter is 26 years old today, and she is a graduate of Old Bridge Public Schools and has had a remarkable time. And she's currently at Brookdale. She's finishing up her associate's degree, and she will be going to Rutgers next year to continue her education. even though she needs to live at home with her parents. But I just wanted to share that, and she brings it up to us all the time, to me, how much she loves David and what it meant to her for him being basically her guardian during those 5 days in Washington, D.C. and Baltimore Harbor. So with that said, I'm going to leave it as there, and I just want to, again, ask everyone, please support Dave. He's been a remarkable man here for the last 12-plus years, and I think he deserves to leave on his own terms. I appreciate it, and have a good evening. Thank you.
You have to press the button over there.
Okay, sorry. My name is Carol Napo. I am a resident of Old Bridge for a long time. Sorry. Two of my children went through the school district. I had my first encounter with Mr. Cittadino when he was the principal of SARC. He encourages all the children to do their best, and that's what made me proud of him. I believe that when my son was at SARC, he encouraged him all the way to go. So then he went to the high school and he did a lot of things, and now he's a mechanical engineer. So I just want to say I endorse him 100%, and I hope you feel the same way. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Britta Schmitz, and I run the German exchange program here in Old Bridge. I'm a German teacher at the high school, and I just wanted to say that especially these programs, like you see in the little brochure, are not possible without the support of a good administration. And thank you, Mr. Cittadino, for all the support you've given me, because it's a lot of work to put these programs together. It's not paid, it's something we do because we like it. And when the German teachers come over, they always express how much of a family feel Old Bridge has to it. And you need somebody to give that family feel. So thank you.
Hello everyone, Kiran Venkatesan here again. Thanks Dr. Tui and Elena and Christina for clarifying on the changes. But I wish if this from the state perspective, I really like the way you guys put it, right? From the state perspective, if they can publish ahead on what's upcoming, what's changing, what is mandated, what is optional, so we can subscribe to what is really needed for our kids. But I really appreciate you all in the board, honestly, for the time you have spent to diligently review that and then support the community and the town. Thank you. I think we need to give a round of applause for the efforts put with the board and the administration. So my next point is about the food that is being served at the schools, especially there are many of them who are only vegetarians. When I'm talking to the community and the people around, there is an opportunity here to improve the kind of food that we supply. So if we can provide some vegetarian options a little more consistently than probably the potatoes and others. So some kind of an healthy diet, if we can a little bit, focus on that. I'm not sure if there is a food committee that could revisit this. Just a request here, if we could do anything around it. And the one other thing is around transportation. I know we did discuss, and again, thanks Vice President Jennifer Durantino to set that up. But I'm not sure if you have any kind of dates against which you are marching forward to get a response out on, or is it like, there is no more options going to be provided by the administration? I'd like to hear what are the next steps around it. All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Good evening. My name is Vilma Medina. I've been a resident of Old Bridge for the last 16 years, and I've seen the difference in different kind of places that my children have studied. And honestly, I can't tell the difference of a good school. I also, study in another district, because I don't come from here. But I can tell what is the difference of a good leader. And I can tell that David Cittadino is a great one. And it's a shame, if you guys don't renew his contract. And I think that you should guys reconsider. He's a great leader, and I think that this is what Old Bridge needs. Thank you.
Anyone else? Okay, there was a couple of questions that we have to answer. Number one is shared services. I spoke to Mary Sohor, the president of the council, and basically what we're going to do is I asked the two business administrators to get together and brainwash. Okay? Did you have the meeting yet?
Yes, we're
Brainstorm.
Yeah.
I'll be working directly with Anahita Phelps, who's the business administrator over at the township. We're going to be trying to coordinate a meeting. First, just within the shared services committee, we would have to advertise on our end. It becomes, when we try to get all boards and the entire town council, it becomes kind of a advertising, I don't want to say headache, but it just more coordination and advertising. So Mr. Solikowski tasked me with reaching out to Anahita to try to get a date together where at least our committee can meet with whatever representatives they need from the town council or the township administration to get something together for shared services. So we're working on that, trying to get a meeting together. I'll update the board accordingly, and obviously any meeting that we do have will be published thoroughly in the paper. So I was tasked by Mr. Solikowski to do so. We're working on that with Anahita. Bring up, you mentioned the air conditioner. I will certainly look into that situation. I'll talk to facilities. We do have a facilities meeting coming up in October. It can be brought up then, but I'll be reaching out to Ernie and the plant services team to see what kind of options are there. If it's something that we could even put bigger window ACs in, depending on we actually have to, look at the room first to see what the options are. But we can certainly work on, if that's the only school, I certainly am for, especially the population in that school. We want to make sure that's addressed and taken care of. So I will certainly look in that as well, based on your suggestion.
Thank you, Mr. Wydell.
What about the students' questions?
Yeah. That's Dr. Hoker.
A substitute.
So you asked a question about the qualifications of substitute teachers. So there are rules and regulations that we follow with every position in the district. Our substitutes who are in short-term, long-term positions or daily positions all have different requirements. So typically if we have a teacher who is on a long-term leave, there is a certified, anyone beyond 15 days, we put a certified staff member in those positions. Sometimes we don't know that the teacher's going to be out for that long. We start with a per diem and then we have to make a change, but we try to have consistency based on the information that we have. You asked a question about the number of students in the class and whether there's more or less post-COVID. I don't know that there's a difference post-COVID, but we look at our class size every year, and it ties to the next question that you asked regarding managing class size and fiscal responsibility. So every year we analyze the number of students, where they're located, and the class sections that we have in every building, all the way up until the high school. So if we don't need, this year we did reduce teams at the middle school, and that was partially financial and partially because we could and not max out the number of students that are required by our policy. In some classes there's more students, in other classes we have fewer students. So it does change based on where the population is and where new students are coming in. I think those are my questions. You asked two questions about the crisis planning and the security. I'm going to let Mr. Cittadino answer those.
Okay. You did a great job. So one of the questions was about armed police officers in our schools. Yes, there is at least one armed officer in every school, and there are 4 SROs assigned to the district that have ultimate assign over the schools, and there are SLEO 2s and 3s in every school who are armed in our shared service agreement with the police department. The problem and the issue the country has had with gun violence and school safety is a real one, and something we've continually looked at using multiple layers of security. And I'm one of those people who I sit on the state task force for school safety and security, and one of my things I like to talk in generalizations, because I don't like, not that the Giants playbook is unpredictable, but I don't like to give the playbook to everyone, because then people with bad intentions, I'm a Giants fan though, knows how to skirt our security issues. But we do use different software to monitor behaviors outside of school that would put us in greater risk, and do give indicators and warnings to myself and members of the law enforcement community when a student is a danger to self or others in the community, and that has worked out very advantageously already once this school year. We do use things like Blue Point security, and within our schools, that is a silent alarm that goes directly to the police department when there is a security breach within a school, and notifies everyone in the school and out of the school to go into shelter in place. There's one thing we're looking at right now that I will just say, it's a very interesting AI initiative that I've never seen before, and as part of my position with the task force, I've introduced it to all the superintendents within Middlesex County. We just had a session with it the other day, and to be proactive in it, we've already applied for a grant, and I thank Dr. Calandra for assisting, and Mr. Wydell for assisting with this grant. The Homeland Security grant expires September 30th, and we've already applied to receive this groundbreaking technology in AI that would tremendously improve the safety within our schools. We do drill as required by the state law. We have a school safety and security drill every month. There has to be 2 of specific ones: lockdown, shelter in place, safe corner, and tabletop exercises to that nature, full evacuation. Many of those have to be done twice a year, and we are cognizant of that when we have students of different abilities within those classrooms, how they may be impacted, or the challenges that the educators within that classroom face when working with those students. I know that happens a lot, especially when you have to go to a safe corner. Students that are nonverbal have try to understanding what that is, and can be very scary for them. So additional precautions in those areas where those students exist, and again, not to increase their anxiety. So those are some of the things we do. I would encourage you, if I didn't answer all of your questions, to stop by here at the end, and I'll give you my email, and I can go over a few more things with you. And I think we have to sign something for you too? Yes. Oh, excellent, Mr. President, you'll get to sign that. I do want to talk about a few things. Tina, I'm so happy to see you. She didn't leave yet, did she? All right, you better stay there, because I want to come over and see you before you leave. So it's great to see you. I couldn't believe it when you walked up to the podium. It's been many years. Ms. Napo, you really do under, I guess, give under accolade. That's not even a word. Don't give adequate accolades to your children, especially, John and I have continued to stay in contact through social media. So she says that her son is an engineer, mechanical engineer. She didn't say that he went to UPenn and was also the lead in Oklahoma as well. But he went to UPenn and left there in robotics and became an Imagineer at Disney, creating I believe it was the R2-D2 robot that was on the Disney cruise. That was just amazing that one of our kids made that, and how much entertainment that gave to kids going forward.
I think we need a board trip to go verify and look at that.
And I know what Mr. V will get back to you with the food. We've worked towards that. with our food committee and being very conscientious that a lot of our students are vegetarians. Do you want to talk more about that?
I will, just to second your voice, you know, we have heard that from administrators, principals as well, that are hearing it from their parents, and it's been voiced to us. So we do have a new director. Aramark is still here, and it's in their final year of their contract, but we have a new food service director. Julia Street Bush is her name. She replaced, she's actually here in the back, and our whole Aramark team is in the back. So we have a meeting coming up in October. I believe it's October 18th is the food services committee. 17th, thank you, Julia. So I'm sure it'll be a point of discussion. We are trying to bring more options. We know that the kids love the veggie nuggets, but as simple as salads, making salads more available and getting more options for that. So we are definitely trying to push that, and we'll be working on that for the rest of the year. We have some big initiatives and things planned for this year in the final year of Aramark's contract. So.
And the other point you said about transportation, that continues to be an ongoing conversation. One of the things we're looking at, and even though it's a little bit further down the line, is we get the realization of our benefits costs in January. Right now, we have to operate based upon a budget prediction, and even a percentage point in our favor can be, close to $1 million. So when you're talking about the benefits to the amount of employees that we have. So if that is something, funds that have become available to us, it's something we can look at reinstalling for this year. And last thing, Mr. Dunn, when you spoke about Erin, I want to clear to everyone, Mr. Dunn wasn't a board member, even I was a principal at the time, so it wasn't like us doing something because, taking Erin because of his position. He was just a guy back then. But can I tell a funny story about Erin? So we're sitting at the Baltimore Harbor, and Erin decided that she wanted to sit with me at the table and on Miss Nancy Rose, the guidance counselor. And Erin, because she's high functioning, she says what she feels, and she doesn't hold back. So a waitress or waiter comes over. First, can I get anybody something to drink? Erin wanted iced tea. He gives Erin the iced tea, and how the waiters just come back, just, how is everything? Just not really looking for an answer. Erin's response was horrible. So I think it was like the waiter's first day, and I had to, tell him it's going to be better than that. So I will always remember that story. So I hope Erin's doing well. That concludes my superintendent's remarks.
Thank you. Anyone else? Any old business?
I have something.
Go ahead.
Sorry, I have very bad allergies. I'm not contagious. I just feel the need to say that right away. I've brought this up a few times, and I know it's been a topic of conversation amongst the parents. Carl Sandburg parking and traffic issues during special events. I did a football game with the fire department not too long ago. It was supposed to be an hour long. We ended up staying the entire time because OEM and other emergency services would not be able to get in to help any student if something happened because of traffic issues, people parking in fire lanes, not enough parking, issues like that. As we speak right now, the fire marshal is there issuing fines, violations, and tickets because there is an event currently right now where over 20 cars are parked in the fire lanes. They're parked illegal, multiple issues where the fines are totaling over $6,000 right now as we're having this meeting. I know I've asked several times for additional meetings with PD, OEM, fire. I know they haven't been contacted since our last conversation last week. I was wondering, where are we with this? I think this is super important to happen sooner than later. Not only are the safety of the kids and all in attendance at risk, but you're putting the emergency services in a bad spot too. Okay.
I will send an email as soon as I get back to the office.
Thank you.
I will say something that was done since last year. We've also lined all the parking lots. So it used to be bus parking in the back, and like everybody would just kind of like park left, right, and different. There was no structured lines to handle additional overflow parking. So that's what was all done over the course of the summer. And tonight is open house, right, for sixth grade. And that's why we don't have it 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade the same night, because just the parking is just too much. So we'll have to look at, if there are 350 to 400 parents in there for the students, and every one of them came, we should still have enough parking, based upon the parking spaces we have. So,
But
I
there
don't
was
know.
also, at Sandburg, I know there was a field hockey game till at least like 7 o'clock. So that could have taken up some of the field house parking.
Absolutely. And you also have the maintenance area that's all fenced off, that there's shipping containers, that there's other things inside that area. I myself walked through it during a football game. Nobody stopped me. It was extremely dark. The shipping containers were open. I mean, it's extremely dangerous. Someone could get robbed or worse in that area if there's not enough protection. It should be fenced off and locked if you're going to keep it. If it's not being utilized, then we need to take down the fencing and make additional parking.
Anyone else?
I do. So 2 things. I think the only question that you missed of Juliana's was the test scores pre and post-COVID. If you guys can email me those as well, I would like to see those. Also, many residents have asked if we truly know Mr. Cittadino, and they urge us to get to know him as a person. So Elena and I reached out to him, and we scheduled a meeting. We had asked him to sit down with us and scheduled a meeting, so we really get to know him as a person, how he got to where he is, what his goals are, what his goals were when he became superintendent. And he graciously accepted, and we will be meeting next week, right? We're meeting next week?
October 1st?
Yep. And so it's not about, like, I don't know where people are getting the facts of, oh, I know how you're voting, and put political stuff aside. It has nothing to do with us being political or anything. It's really us doing our job and getting to know him as a person. So just be patient with us and let us get to know him. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes. In response to the questions, all dates of committee meetings are on our district website. Love the subscribe button. Parents are loving it. As I've said before, the committee meetings is really where the conversations happen. So we invite everyone to the committee meetings. The next set of ones that I know about, President's Council is hosting Candidates Night here, October 8th. So that's where you get to see all the new Board of Ed candidates that are running for this year's election, get to hear their answers to questions that concern the district. October 9th is a curriculum/special services committee meeting. October 10th is going to be the Transportation Buildings and Grounds Committee. October 17th is going to be the Food Services Committee, where we'll be meeting with Aramark. And then we had to kind of bump technology into November because of some other meetings. Technology Committee is meeting October 18th, and then we as a board have a New Jersey School Board Convention in October. So we are all attending meetings like all of October. I don't think we have an empty night, in the next few weeks. So again, please come to the table. We want to hear your thoughts and have a discussion.
Thank you. Anyone else?
Yes. I also mentioned last week about discussing personnel items during executive sessions. So I'd like to remind the public once again not to make assumptions about the intentions of board members. There's different votes for different processes, as some people that are new seeing at the end. Obviously, we can't discuss it now publicly. And there are a few circumstances not known by the public that we are privy to, so we just wait until the final votes are done, and then when the final votes are cast, we'll give reasons if it's appropriate. Even when the vote's taken, some certain things we can't discuss, so just keep that in mind. But you could keep the emails coming, because the public is free to discuss any topic they like, send emails, speak at board meetings, and that's it. Thank you.
Giordano, thank you.
Yes, and I just have a comment.
Go ahead.
I just want to exercise my right under the old business to speak about Dave's contract that I do support. I know Dave for the last 3 years. We started off pretty rocky when I got on the board because during COVID, but I got to work with Dave, got to know him better, and I echo the words of the room that I do support extending Dave's contract.
Thank you. Anyone else?
I got something.
So, to echo Mr. Slade's comments just now, when I got on, I carried a lot of resentment, a lot of anger from what happened during the COVID years. I knew why I didn't support Mr. Cittadino at that time. July 2023, my eyes were opened fully from the previous years of what I've witnessed as a board member in executive session with other board members, those of who I followed and looked up to. I quickly realized that everything they were displaying publicly wasn't that way behind the scenes. And I was the odd man out because I was the one that was acting on what I believed, on what I felt was right. I've given this man and this administration an incredibly hard time these last 3 years. Again, because of what I believed was right. The last year and a half, aside from my eyes being fully open last July, because of certain things that had gone on behind the scenes that I wasn't made aware of. This gentleman to my left, when my world was crumbling and I had people running away from me, this man called my family to make sure my children were okay. And to me, that resonated beyond anything else. Because everything that I did to them, whatever I put them through because of what I believed personally, he still had it in him, the dignity to call me as a man, make sure my children are okay. When I knew people for years, and I went to bat for these people, and I went to bat for their children, and I put myself between them and the administration, he's the only one that reached out as a cause of concern. Because what I learned is you have people that call you to garner information, and then you have people that call you to really care, to see how you're doing. If I could go back in time, everything that I did, I'm proud of, okay? I'm proud of. I'm proud that I was able to be a voice for the parents during COVID. I'm proud that I personally brought to light the sexual education of third graders. The head of curriculum had no idea until I was sending emails. I'm happy that I was able to be a voice for parental rights. But what I'm quickly regretting is running for a seat on the Old Bridge Board of Education. Because what I realize now is that this position is not one where you can make a change. This is not one where you can come up here and be a voice, because that's not how it works. This is a position that people use for vanity, where they want to get up and make speeches, and they want to utilize this to make speeches, and they want to claim they're transparent, but yet when a situation arises that may or may not put them in a negative light, they don't want to vote on it. And they don't want to disclose why they're voting on it. So my question to the 4 people who are saying they don't want to renew Mr. Cittadino, after everything that you've been made aware of, that I chose to ignore, what is your plan? If you choose not to renew Mr. Cittadino, what is your plan? You're going to hire an interim superintendent that's going to do everything, undo everything that this man did? What's your plan? I think, as transparent as everybody claims to be on this board, I think everybody deserves to know. What's the plan? You're going to hire a superintendent that may or may not have the best interest of the children at heart, right? Mr. Giordano graduated early because he did the program that Mr. Cittadino put in place. I think that I was brave enough, as uncomfortable as it made me at the time to do it, and it made me uncomfortable even though maybe I didn't show it, but it made me super uncomfortable. But I did it because I felt that people needed to know where I stood. Regardless if it was right or wrong, I did it. Being a board member is more than just making speeches when it benefits you. Being a board member is being able to make those tough decisions and voting on it publicly, because that's where it matters. Thank you. Thank you. Don't clap. I don't want it. I don't want it. I never wanted the public. I never wanted it. I did everything from my heart. Everything that I thought was right, and look, she's laughing, but everything that I thought was right, I did from my heart. Okay? Whether it was right or wrong, I did it from here. Everything. I never wanted the I didn't put my picture in the newspaper when I ran. Because I don't want it. I don't know your name back there, ma'am, you, with the, anyway, I saw her at a graduation. I don't know her name, but I saw her at a graduation. And I'm standing on the stage and I'm just admiring the empty seats, and I'm like, wow, it's crazy because this is going to be filled up with people who are taking the next step in their lives. And people start piling in, and I'm like, all right, I want to get off the stage. I'm not really one for, public, I'm not one for, I don't like to, see people and wave while I'm on the stage and they're in the audience. It's not who I am. And she goes, well, you're a public official, right? And I was just like, that doesn't matter to me because I don't do it for the attention. I'm still a very private person. I was always a very private person. So I don't do things for the recognition. I mean, it's nice to be recognized for what I thought I was doing, and then when you get cut off by the people that you thought supported you, that actually hurts more than, I guess, realizing that you did the wrong thing. So that's all I have to say. That's probably going to be my last comments until my last meeting, where I'll divulge into a little bit more of how I feel and my time on the board, but that's it. So thank you. Thank you.
Any new business?
Yes.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, as I mentioned, the programs to get students out of college faster is good. But yeah, back then, before it was all done when I was in school, I had to do it with my mother and myself. So it wasn't, I didn't benefit from the programs that currently exist now, but it does show all the accomplishments that have happened. And once again, I'll discuss these in private because there's other circumstances that we have to discuss about the process.
Thank you.
That's it.
Here's a guy that completed his college education in 2 years. I'll tell you, that's pretty good.
I have a piece of new business. I believe I think a township email went out today. The Old Bridge Education Foundation is having their flea market this Saturday, the 28th, from 9 to 3 at the Grade 9 Center. We'll be selling the One Love t-shirts there as well. Just a little plug, we have a little bit over $13,000 worth of sales in those shirts. Just a reminder that the money that we raise in the foundation goes back to the teachers in form of grants to help with any financial shortfalls. So again, when you're supporting the foundation, at the same sense, you're supporting our teachers. So this Saturday, Grade 9 Center, 9 to 3, flea market.
Thank you. Anyone else? I would like to thank the public for all their comments, and this meeting will be adjourned. Thank you very much.
Marquetta moves.
I need a motion.
Marquetta moves.
Marquetta
Lentil
motions.
second.
Lent. All in favor?
Yes.
Do we have executive session?
No.
No.
No, you can go home, all of us. Thank you.
For the board members, there was an email that went out about workshops. Some of you were